There we go. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. We'll make this recording available if you're interested in watching it later. We also have the PowerPoint notes if you want it. Don't be stressed about copying notes down. We have all that stuff. If you hear things that are of particular interest, go ahead and jot it down for future reference. But otherwise, we can send out the PowerPoint notes and the video as well. So don't stress too much about it. But good evening. Thanks for joining. We have a good, solid crew tonight on for two-person mechanics. This is going to be a review for a lot of you that have already done work on the field. Some of you have extensive experience. And at any point, if you have questions or comments or, just points of emphasis, as it were, go ahead and just unmute and shout those out if you think it'll help other people on the Zoom tonight, or go ahead and type it in the chat. That's available to you as well. If you want to make a note of something, tell everybody a funny story about how you screwed it up or whatever. We all have those stories. So please, by all means, share away. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started. Hopefully this doesn't take a ton of time, but we'll see how we go. So, these PowerPoints come from USA Lacrosse. They like to define things, mechanics, the way in which something is done or operated, the practicalities or details of something. It's how we move, right? It's how we move on the field. We want to make sure we're moving with purpose. And as I talked to the applicant class about a few weeks ago, signaling for clarity, right? We want to make sure everybody in those stands that actually understands the signals, recognizes them and gets to what we're calling and what we're seeing on the field. Excuse me. So the mission of our mechanics is position, consistency, fairness, and of course, number one is safety. We have to make the game safe. Using two-person mechanics, effective two-person mechanics, we can ensure that the field is covered most of the time. It's impossible for us to see everything, right? But with two-person mechanics, we do our best to see the entire field. We want to make sure we see all the players, we see the ball, we see the action, and we see the behind the scenes that sometimes ends in misdemeanors or felonies or bigger issues on the field. And it takes teamwork, right? This is we are all working together. No matter who your partner is, even if you don't like them that much, you still have to go out there and you still need to be a team and make it work for the betterment of the association, of the game, all that kind of thing. Communication is key, right? Coaches, they want to know three things. Parents want to know three things. What's the call? Who's getting the ball? And where will the ball start? And so we want to make sure that those three things are communicated effectively to everyone in the stadium. Some considerations for you to think about. We are all getting older. We need to understand and realize our own physical ability. How fast can we get up and down the field? What do we need to do to put ourselves in the best position? And that includes anticipating plays. This is a lot easier for those that played the game or have been around the game a long time. I find myself doing this, right? We're on the field. I was a left-handed attackman or a lefty attackman. When I stand there as the lead, right, I'm thinking about what I would have done as a player and what these students or players should do on the field. Sometimes they don't do it. It's a little frustrating, but we want to be able to anticipate what they're going to do next and put yourself, as I said, in the best position to make the best decision. And we say this every year. We hear from Greg, we hear from JP, right? Don't wait until March 20th to start getting in shape because it's not going to work out well for you. I wasn't at the on-field training last weekend, but I understand that you all went through some exercises and stretches. That's a good thing to do before and after every game, obviously. But and also we need to be in shape, right? We need to be able to move up and down the field in cold conditions, hot conditions, JV and varsity combo games, all that kind of thing. Positioning, knowing where the ball is, understanding if you are on ball or off ball. Where could the ball go next, right? That gets into the anticipating the next play. Where are my partners? Where are they on the field? Are they in a good position? Sometimes we forget, right? Sometimes we're so wrapped up in what's going on that we're not in the best position. If I'm on the field and Hernandez is like Chris, what are you doing all the way over there? Come in, move out, move up, move down, whatever. That tells me that I'm not paying enough attention, and that, I need to be in a better spot so that I am better assisting Mike or Ed or whoever's on the field, whoever I'm on the field with. And can I see all the players? This is hard, particularly in two-person mechanics. Being able to see everybody is often difficult. And so you need to be able to put yourself in a position, taking a few steps this way, a few steps that way, to make sure that you are absolutely in the best position possible to see everything that's going on. Greg talked about a little bit about this in our meeting the other night, the pregame. And for those new folks that are on tonight, just follow the lead of your referee, right? They have done this before, and some people are new referees this year. That's fantastic. If you have questions or concerns about pregame mechanics, give me a shout, give Mike a shout, whoever you're comfortable talking to, because we want to make sure we get this right. As Greg said, or our guest speaker, Keith, said the other night, we are judged from the second we walk on the field. And sometimes even in the parking lot by some parents and coaches. So we want to make sure that pregame mechanic is solid. As soon as you arrive on scene, you're looking sharp, you're acting sharp, and are ready to go for the game. So we talked to the coaches, we talked to the table staff, and we'll get into some more of this in a minute, but this is just an overview. Talk to the captains, right? We talked to the face-off players. We go ahead and get the pregame lineups on the field, and then talking to folks and making sure things are sharp during timeouts and in between quarters. So who are we talking to? We're talking to the penalty clock and scorekeeper. We're making sure that they know what they're doing, particularly in the beginning of the season. We want to make sure those folks at the scorers table understand how the clock works, how the horn works, whether it's a standalone air horn or whether it's up on the scoreboard. Know who we're talking to about penalties, right? Not everyone at that table cares about penalties. You want to make sure the timer knows what the heck's going on, and the person keeping the home book knows what's going on, because they're responsible for the keeping the sharpest book. Going over the conditions for a penalty to release. Not something I do often, but it is a good practice, good mechanic. Talk to the person that's going to be releasing penalties. They make sure they understand what a 30-second, 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute non-releasable looks like. Making sure that if someone does leave early, right, they communicate that to us so that we can adjudicate that accordingly. We want to make sure they get it right. We want to make sure that we get it right, so that everyone's on the same page and no one gets overly upset with us. Pre-game lineup, right? You see this here on the screen. We want to make sure the goalie's left shoulder is to the goal they are defending, followed by defense, midfield, and attack. That face-off player should be right at the midline, 5 yards apart, give or take, right? We can move them back and forth to show them what 5 yards looks like, and make sure everything looks good. Make sure the in-home is the last one on each side, and check. This is a great time to check eye black, check mouthpieces, those kinds of things. Once we start talking, once we are officially moving, we want to keep it short, right? Have a good practiced speech before we get out there on the field. And again, we don't want to belabor this. Guys want to play. We are nervous. They are nervous. They want to go. We want to go. Coaches really want to go. And so we want to keep it short, keep it sweet, and move it along. Those that have worked with me in the past know I have the same spiel I give every time. It comes from one of our former officials, Bill Neaton, he always said, guys, make sure you respect each other, respect the officials, and most of all, respect the game of lacrosse. I mimic that in my pregame talk as well. Everyone comes up with their own shtick. Just make sure it's practiced and you say the right things and get it moving. We want to emphasize sportsmanship. I do this more with captains than the pregame lineup, but questions are okay, comments are not, right? I'm happy to talk with captains about questions, concerns they have, but I rarely tell the lineup, the whole team, what's going on there. We invite the goalies to cross, shake hands, and then I tell them to introduce yourselves or meet your opponents. attack meets the defenseman, and the middies meet each other, and we go, right? It's go time. So here in Delaware, this doesn't necessarily apply to us because we run left, what's called running left. I know guys in Maryland give us a hard time about running left. They typically run right. Work it out with the referee. I prefer left. It looks, I think, a little sharper. It's a little easier mechanic for the face-off official. But here, this is running right, right? And so we have the wing official here on the right side of the field, face-off official, obviously right at the X. And then obviously we'll talk about that in a second. This is running left. This is how most of us in Delaware do it. We have the wing official down here. It's a little further down than I would be, but they're at the top of the box there. I would be up further, closer to the wing line. And then we have obviously the face-off official at the X. We'll start with the far side official. This is the face-off official on the opening face-off. Make sure both players are down, legally set up, right? Sticks are top to stop. Sticks are straight up and down. No hands on the plastic. Everything up to the line. The hands are up to the line, not touching it. Both hands on the ground. Checking the neutral zone, making sure heads and shoulders and feet and ankles and everything are out of the neutral zone. We back out diagonally to make sure we're clear. And you're never going to be 100% clear of the ball or players, but you do your best. Watch for players moving early, anything like that, making noises that are trying to get their opponents to jump. And then you want to try to look behind you, right, and see where those wing face-off guys are so that you don't get clobbered. Usually on a two-person, I'm not really looking for that. They should watch out for me. I'm getting older. If I do get hit from behind, it's going to hurt like heck. So we just want to try to avoid getting run into by those wing folks. And then that face-off official will have the restart after any violation. We've talked about this. Greg's talked about it. We can move sticks around a little bit, particularly in the first couple weeks of the season. By the middle of the season, by the end of a game, I'm not moving sticks anymore. You shift left. If they don't listen or they don't come down right, it's an immediate turnover, right? We don't have time to be fixing things every time. It's not our job. There's no other way they're going to learn is by getting it wrong and getting yelled at by their coach because they messed up. We give the set command. This is, and Mike, help me out with this one. When we had our on-field at Delaware Turf, JP recommended we start backing out before we say set. I don't know. I don't remember if that was just on a three-person.
Well,
or if
that
that's a
was
two-person.
saying, like in college now, the officials aren't moving. If you can still back out, but try to make it to where you're not running. Make
Sure.
it either a walk or kind of like some kind of slow movement out. That way, because whenever people have like backed out really quick, it's always caused people to jump like over 80% of the time.
But are we
It's
still
wherever
doing
you
set
practice,
while in the?
like try some different things, especially if you have scrimmages. Try just backing out slowly. If you want to back up and stay stationary, back up and stay stationary. It's whatever you're feel more comfortable with. Just make sure you're not too close or too far away. Like you don't want to blow the whistle 10 yards away from the face off, and you don't want to blow it right at where the kids are, like a yard or two away. I mean, I would at least be like at least 5 yards away when you blow the whistle, roughly.
And we're still calling set inside, right? Like with our hand all over the sticks, or are we backing out and saying set?
I mean, what
Not to put you on the spot or anything.
what was brought up in college, pretty much we're like in our spot already, like 3 to 5 yards away, staying down, set, whistle. But if you want to back out, then yes, you're gonna stand over the kids. Tell them, well, of course, tell them down, make sure everything's good, and then right when you're about to back out, you want to say set and then whistle, or take a couple steps back, set, whistle. The key thing is, and this is the very important thing while we're doing face-off conferences, tell them what you're going to do. And
Yep.
if you're both going to just back out, stop, say set and whistle, then tell the kids, I'm going to back out after I say down. I'm going to say set, wait for the whistle. We're not trying to fool anybody. And if you end up having people jump, they just keep jumping the whistle, jumping the whistle. I'm not even talking about just one kid. If they both are doing it, a big thing I've been doing now, and it works. I look at both of them, guys. For some reason, you're both jumping the whistle. This is going to be a long whistle. I repeat, this will be a long whistle, and make it long. Make it an extra second longer what you already are doing. And if a kid decides to jump, hey, I already told you I was going to hold it. It's about making it fair and making it to where it's just not us blowing our whistle all day. Yeah,
I was actually, Mike,
Go ahead.
that's actually one of the reasons I tuned in. I didn't know what and I defer to like you and Bulger and everybody else. I didn't know what the plan was for face-offs, if we were doing it like college.
It's pretty much whatever everyone's comfortable with. I can tell you this right now. I'm doing it like college. Unless for some reason there's some kind of issue inside to where someone's, excuse my friends, pissing somebody off. There's a bunch of sloppy stuff, then maybe I'll get in there. But I'll be backing out about 3-5 yards, telling them down, set, whistle. It just depends on also who I'm working with. If I'm working with somebody new, maybe I'll take the approach of showing them how to do it that way. But if I'm with Fu, if I'm a Petrone, I'm probably gonna do some kind of version of college. It may not be the 90-degree thing like we do, because
Yeah.
I know Chris and like Terry and people who are veterans aren't used to that. Now, if they are, then we will do it. But that's just something you need to have in pregame as well, making sure everyone's on the same page. Like if I'm with Peyton McCready, I'm probably not going to do the 90-10 thing. I'm probably going to back out with them and make sure it looks the same way both ways. If we're both good, or all three of us good, depending on what the case is, what the game is, then if I decide to stand, then I'll stand. It's just something you need to talk about in your pre-games.
But it sounds like we need some more clarification from Greg and JP. So Fu, thanks for bringing that up, and we'll get that squared away and figure out what the consistent mechanic is.
Yeah, because I think consistency is key there. I think if one guy is stationary while blowing the whistle and the other guy's backing out, you're gonna inevitably have kids jumping.
Yep. Absolutely.
I agree
with that corner of their eye. So, all right, cool. Thanks.
Yep. Thank you. So some other things to think about: avoid swissels. Right. It's recommended that we not say set with the whistle out of our mouth. It's recommended we do it with whistle in the mouth, and that avoids the cheating mechanic of, okay, when that referee puts that whistle in his mouth, he's going to blow it a half a second later, and it gives them an advantage, right? So having that whistle in your mouth ready to go, you can sort of say set out of the side of your mouth and then whistle, right? We want to avoid set whistle, that kind of quick exchange. Make sure you're in a safe position to be out of the way and in a place where you can comfortably be and still call the game, right? And this again gets into your physical ability. Your knees might not be as sharp as they used to be, and getting out of there quickly is difficult. So start further out. That's the bottom line. We want to make sure that you have eyes on the play, but are also not getting hurt. So the wing official, responsible for watching the wings and all the other players on the field, being aware of who's lined up next to each other, watching for interference, right? And this happens at both lower end levels of lacrosse and high end levels of lacrosse. The low end, they don't even realize they're doing it. At the high end, they're trying to take away advantage to the other team, right? They're trying to get the ball first, and they'll interfere with the other wing player. That is illegal, right? And we need to be watching for that and call it accordingly. Make sure everyone else is behind the restraining line, watching for early releases. And then if there is some sort of violation, it is the wing person's responsibility to keep people behind the line. There's no substitutions yet, all that kind of stuff. We want to start fresh with the ball and the stick, and we're going with people locked in behind the restraining lines. So this is running right. So this is a bit of an animation. So we have the wing official on the right side of the field. Okay, face-off official is watching what's happening at the X. The wing guy is looking at the wing lines, close and near and far, and that's how that works. And so this is just a animation, the ball going that way. The when running right, the face-off official will become the lead, the wing official becomes the trail, and we move accordingly into position. All right, so this is what happens if the ball goes right. This is high-tech stuff here. The face-off official becomes the trail, the wing official becomes the lead, and we move into position accordingly. This is running left. Face-off official, wing official, they're looking in the middle, they're looking at the wings. All right, and we move down accordingly. The ball's going that way. Face-off official becomes the trail, wing official becomes the lead. And if I'm going too fast through this, guys, please stop me, slow me down. The ball's moving right. Face-off becomes the lead, and the wing official becomes the trail. A little high for my taste, but that's where they put it. I would be closer in to the restraining line myself, but that's just me.
A good rule of thumb with trail is 5 yards above the restraining line, 5 yards in, and then you just go in and out with the ball.
Yep. So we have some video. All right, so you can see they are running left. So you can see the wing official is here on the left. We have the face-off official in the middle. He's watching the line here. You can see his hat move to the other line at some point, and white picks up the ball. We're going left. So that wing official becomes the lead. Face-off official becomes the trail. Eventually, he's checking things at the line, I guess. And he'll move into position once things settle in. There he is. I saw him up there. He's a little high for my taste, since we can't actually see him yet. But we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. There he is. Come on down. So, like Mike said, that trail official, if I were his partner, I would say come on down to about the 35, and not as far in as maybe the hash mark on the football field there, but just a hair in from that 3 of the 30, just to make sure he has eyes and ears on everything going on inside. So violations at the face-off. We do get these, again, at all different levels. Pre-whistle, we do not blow the whistle, right? If somebody jumps before we actually blow the whistle, do not blow your whistle. I know it's hard because you want to make the call, but we don't actually blow the whistle. You stand the players up, say, okay, guys, up. You give the signal, what happened, and then you point the direction which way we're going. Post-whistle, you obviously would blow the whistle to stop play, signal accordingly, and get the ball into the right stick, and we're moving. A lot of things happen on those face-off violations, right? Guys are coming in, guys are coming off, and so things can get a little hairy. So we want to make sure that the situation is under control. We see who's coming on, coming off, make sure there's no sloppiness and no dirtiness going on, particularly at the box, and we move the ball. We get it up and we get it going as quickly as possible. In two-person mechanics, the trail official will handle the restart. So if I am becoming the lead, I'm going to get myself inside, right? I don't want to belabor that. I don't want to delay, because if they blow the whistle and move the ball immediately to the crease attackman, and I'm still at the restraining line, that's a bad situation, right? So as soon as there's a face-off violation, I know we're going left and I'm running left, I'm going to get down there, okay? I want to make sure that I'm in plenty of time. That trail person can then get the ball started. We restart from the spot of the violation, and the wing official makes sure everybody is, as I mentioned before, locked in the box. There's no substitutions yet, guys. Stay behind the line, get behind the line. And then once we restart, and you can sub however you'd like to. So this is a pre-whistle violation. Yep, he just pops him up, gives the signal, and we're going this way. You can see the face-off guy runs out. Number 20 from White's going to come over and pick up the ball, and we're going, right? As fast as we can. That's safe and controlled. we want to get the ball moving again. Excuse me. So just some animation of what's going on here. Possession. We want to make sure that all the officials are yelling out possession so that's nice and known across the field. The face-off guy is going to have the 20-second count if it pops over, and then the 20-second count. I jumped to that one pretty quickly, but both guys are yelling possession, and we're going to move the ball accordingly. The lead is going to have the goal in the crease. They're going to have the end line, and we're backing up shots, right? We're going to try to run out shots whenever humanly possible to make sure that we get the best available vantage point to make the call. Also have the sideline that's behind them. They have the 20 count as the new trail, and they're delaying an offsides count. The trail person has the shooter, always eyes on the shooter. We talked about that. And with the applicant class, make sure that that trail, a lot easier in a three person, a little bit harder in a 2-person, but we still have to keep eyes on that shooter at all times. And that includes sometimes the passer, right? Make sure if it's a hot situation, you want to keep eyes on the person making the pass, because they're just as vulnerable as the shooter is to a big hit. And so we want to make sure that the shooter and the passer are safe. And so that trail should have eyes on them at all times. They have the sideline that's behind them. They have the opposite goal. Every now and then, give a little look behind you, make sure that the attack and defense down the other end are behaving themselves. And then they'll also have over and back. And this is the big one. We want to make sure that as that ball is crossing the line, we are already there. Okay, so if you see it coming, you back yourself up and make sure that you are at that line when that ball crosses it, if the ball crosses it. And then obviously they'll have the goal coverage as the new lead, and you need to get down field and in position as fast as humanly possible. So just those triangles represent what that official should be looking at. And so you see we have the crease, we have the restraining line. The trail official is the off ball official in this case, right? So the ball is on the side of the lead. So he's got eyes on the ball. The trail is watching everything else. Okay. In this case, the trail official is the on official. The ball is closer to him, so he's going to watch it. The off official is the lead, and they are looking at, again, everything else as much as possible that they can see where dirtiness tends to happen. The ball is coming towards me as the lead now, so I am the on ball official. So I got my eyes on that. The off ball official's watching picks inside, pushing off, all the kind of stuff that happens on the inside to make sure that they get that right. So the lead's watching the ball. It has eyes sort of in the periphery, watching the other stuff, but really the trail's got it. And then again here, the ball is on the opposite side. That's the old slide. Sorry. Line responsibilities. This is a weirdly animated slide, but that's all right. The lead has the sideline behind them. Okay, and then for some reason it switches to the trail, and they have the midline and the sideline that's behind them. And then the lead again has the end line. Again, I don't know why they animated it that way, but whatever, good for them. So that lead has the end line. Want to make sure that we're running out shots as fast as we can, as best we can. Again, to get eyes on the balls, it's crossing the line and figuring out who is closer. So this is an 11-minute video. So bear with us, and I'm going to play it and sort of take a back seat for a minute. If you have questions at any point, please put them in the chat or unmute. But here we're going to go with a video. And let me know if you cannot hear it, please.
In this video, we're taking a look at the lead and trail official and their responsibilities. So you'll notice the trail official in the lower left-hand side of your screen and the lead official in about the middle of your screen during settled play. So let's talk about the trail official as the ball moves around the field. Right now, he's just a little lower than the wing line, and he's in what's known as the 5x5 square, just about 5 yards above the box, 5 yards.
Oops. Sorry, guys. Oh, boy. Maybe we won't watch the video.
It didn't really, it kind of was in and out for me the other day, Chris.
First point. And
Alright.
the trail official
There
is
we go.
right now, he's the on official. So he's watching this player. He watches the shooter all the way through, and the eyes stay on the shooter. Turning our attention to the lead official, he's off right now. But as the play comes to his side of the field, now he's the on official. Now he's dropping below goal line extended to watch the play. And now he's the off official as the ball is in the trail side of the field. So again, we're going to watch this shot and notice the different responsibility. The lead has his eyes on this shooter, but as soon as it shoots, he's got the whistle out of bounds and the signal along the end line. So now, having watched this clip, let's flip over and take a look at how we can diagram out lead and trail and on and off officiating. Here we have the field set to show on and off responsibilities between the lead official and the trail official in a two-person crew. So we've stripped out all of the other players save one red defenseman and one blue attackman. Because again, we're just looking to show really the focus of the two officials here. So here we cut a diagonal line through the goal area or the attack box. And here we say that the lead official is pretty much responsible for everything as the on official on this side of the line. And the trail official is responsible for the entire rest of the field as the on official. So again, the on official means you are the primary official. So if we move these players up here, trail official will probably bump back just a touch, and the lead official will move in a bit. So the trail official is watching the on-ball action. So that area with the ball and about the 5 or 6 yards around the ball as well. So you have not just zeroed in on the ball, you want to be on the players. And so those defensive penalties of holding, pushing, slashing, cross-checking, pretty much any defensive foul, and then any offensive foul as well, moving picks with another player involved, warding off, all the things that you could think of for an offensive violation, the on official would be calling primarily. But what happens when the ball moves around the field, and how do you determine when you are the on and when you are the off? Well, let's go ahead and move these players down. Now again, there's other players on the field. This is to simplify and just show as the ball moves. So we're going to come on down, and as these players move down, the trail official is going to bump down just a touch. And the lead official is prepping that they're going to come down, and again, the most common thing that's going to happen here is we're going to push to the opposite side of the field, especially if we're going quickly. If they're going slowly, that offensive player might want to set up a play from right down here at X. So then he could go either direction. But if he's really pushing one side, he'll probably cut to one end, and then there's a chance certainly that he's going to push the other direction. So the lead official is just aware of this and to start coming down towards the end line. So here the lead official is the on official. The ball is on this side of the diagonal line. He's got the on-ball defensive fouls, the on-ball offensive fouls. He's also watching this line just in case, let's say this offensive player just grazes the line. He's going to be right on top of it just in case. Now, if these players are up a little higher, he can certainly be up a little bit more. But whenever you have a contested play along this end line, get to that line. It's going to help sell the call. So if this lead official is that deep, trail official can come in a little bit more. And he's got the big picture. He's looking all the way. Maybe there's a little bit of extension on this side of the field, again, depending on where the players are, right? Because if the lead's attention is focused right here, yeah, there might be some off-ball stuff happening on this side, and the trail official does want to be open to it. So don't let this line just completely take you out of, I can't call anything over here. If something bad happens over here as the trail official, you get a safety violation, two players are wailing on each other for no good reason. Lead official can't call that because he's looking right over here. Let's continue this play around. So the lead official, well, actually we're going to keep him here. So these players are going to start pushing out this direction, and then the defender is always going to be working to stay between his man and the goal. And as that play starts pushing up, the lead official's working out a little bit. And that trail official probably rises up, and now he's up again. So again, that trail official staying in this main 5x5 box between just inside the box and the very end of the wing line, this area here. So again, these players move up, and you can do one of two things here as the lead official. You can either really stretch yourself out here. even if the players come to right about here, right, to see this entire field. Or if you get really stuck, let's say those players really push in on you and you didn't have a chance to back out, or you don't have the opportunity to quickly get all the way out, well, your emergency bailout plan is just to back out at an angle towards the end line or towards the cone. So you're getting here, you see these players coming at you really quick, like this player decided to really push this direction and it took you by surprise. Well, instead of backpedaling, just drop 2 steps, 3 steps, let the player run by you, and now we can follow that play out nice and easily. So there's advantages. There's always that kind of straight line path that we're working along goal line, that yo-yo in and out, in and out. We always want to be active. Lead official is very active. But if you get stuck, a very good way to save yourself from having to spin all the way around or lighthouse is just to drop on down. Because now if we have a loose ball or if the ball drops and we're coming on the way down here, we can always work our way outside the play. So dropping on that angle gives you the opportunity to do that with less steps. So now let's look at a practical example of movement and also responsibilities in this 2-person crew. So we've established trail official has this half, he's the off official, looking around for any potential safety or off-ball technical violations. The lead official, by virtue of this play, he's been pulled out just a little bit. And so now we're going to look at what happens if the defense gets a little bit off and we have an opportunity for pretty much a bang, quick shot. So here, we're going to go ahead and have a very quick pass up to this midfielder. Right, so in this situation, he sees an open man, bangs it up, top of the box. Now, recognizing this, the lead official, and it helps to, as you become more and more of a student of the game, you realize you see an open player or a player sneaking now over to this side of the field. Why did the players suddenly pump the ball all the way over here so quickly? We're looking for this player on the backside. So knowing that and knowing that they're going to shoot here, this is the objective, now the lead official recognizes that and starts running in. All right, we don't have anybody on this side of the field to worry about, so the lead official is going to run on in. Trail official, all right, he's going to start dropping just a little bit in case this ball squirts out of bounds, or in case, because this is going to be a dangerous pass, just in case maybe there's a tip or the defense picks it up. This trail official is dropping just to prepare to go upfield. So, attackman catches the ball. Now, we've talked the on and off responsibilities. Settled situation, lead official. He has that end line, but primarily has this goal and the crease line. So he's working in this whole way through. By the time that attackman catches the ball, he's on the crease, either a step above, a step below, so he's not blocked by the pipe directly on goal line extended. So whichever you like to be, step above or a step below, get to where you like to go, and then this attackman is going to go ahead and shoot the ball. All right? Say the goalie just makes a save here. We'll keep the ball right at that point. Trail official has the shooter. Trail official has the shooter. Trail official has the shooter. This cannot be overemphasized. In a 2-person crew, the trail official always has the shooter. So let's say ball hits a pipe or it comes right down towards the line. The lead official is the only person in this entire field who can make a good goal, no-go call, or a crease violation call, or a push into the crease call. He's the only one who is in position to do that. But he's in position because he recognized what was going to happen. Again, see where that ball is going. See if that tempo of that team has changed up a bit and work on in, because we can always back out as this lead official. We want to come in nice and tight when we get the opportunity so we can be on goal for these close shots. So again, to recap, lead official has the end line on contested plays, has the goal and the crease line for all shots, and the trail official has the shooter, always has the shooter. Under no circumstances, a shooter never left uncovered. Watch the shooter. Trail official also has the potential for the over and back. We'll get to that in a separate video. And the trail official is also responsible for the goal on the opposite side of the field. So again, when we were talking about when this player had the ball, you know, as he's passing it over to this attackman, maybe a defenseman snags it, and now we have a push going upfield, or there's a tip, and now we have a quick push up here with a red defenseman going to pick it up. The trail official is running to go cover that goal as he becomes the new lead. Don't forget to view more training videos on the U.S.
So super helpful diagram there. One thing that he indicated, but didn't necessarily say specifically, is think of those two officials, that lead and the trail, that are tied together with a string, right? And so, if you can see my fingers or not, let's see here. Yeah. So as that lead, right, drops below goal line to watch the stuff going on here behind the goal, that trail should sort of sink in a little bit, maybe across the restraining line, maybe not. Again, depends on your physical ability and what you're comfortable with. But as those two officials, as one goes out to the outside, that other one should follow along so that they're kind of together on what's called, or what's the analogy is the string, right? So they are tied together. So as one moves, the other one's moving in or out or up or down accordingly. And so that's just a helpful little thing to remember, particularly on 3-person, which we're not going to talk about tonight, but it happens in 2-person as well. And you should be mindful of that, is we want to make sure that there's coverage, right? There's redundancy in the play. And so if that lead official drops out towards the sideline, that trail is going to sort of just come in a little bit further, right? Because there's no way anything's going to happen back behind them. And so moving in towards the play, moving out in accordance with the lead. All right, so we have goal scored, ensuing face-off. The lead is watching the ball. Trail is watching the shooter, as we heard and emphasized. There's a goal. Goal is good, right? Lead runs in to the crease, signals a good goal, gets the ball from the goalie. The trail should be making their way towards the center of the field. Again, easier in a 3-person when you have that other official right there on the crease with you. But in 2-person, that trail needs to come in a little bit and make sure that there's no funny stuff going on inside the crease there, right? After goals is when things are heated typically the most. And so we want to make sure that we have eyes on everything that's going on right there in the middle. And so the trail will move in, lead throws them the ball, and the lead then goes out to the wing, particularly if they're running left in this case. And then the trail heads up to run the face-off. All right. So over and back, and how to restart that. So we have the ball crosses the line. The trail in this case saw it, calls it, immediately gets back into position. The lead gets into the old lead, the new trail, the L at the top of the screen there, gets into his new position, blows the whistle, and it goes. Okay, and so I'll run that one again just to watch. So as the ball is crossing, that trail should be there, watching, making the call accordingly, and then turning it over. Then he gets into position, and then the new trail will blow it into play. All right, a settled play. Who is restarting the play? Anytime we have it on that wing line, or I'm sorry, on that sideline behind the lead or the end line, they are restarting. In the other case, that was a really quick animation. The trail will have the midline and the sideline behind them. Okay. And talk to your partner. You can signal this, right? If I'm in a position where I think that that Ed is the better one to restart it, I'm going to just give him a little point. Like, go ahead, Ed, you got the whistle. And I'm in. I'm pointing. Can't see me. I'm pointing. I'm ready to go. Ed, you got the whistle. Let's go. And that's a judgment call, right? It's just a feeling things out. By the book, by definition of mechanics, right? The lead would have those two, the sideline and the end line. The trail has the midline and the other sideline. But it's a feel thing. It's a finesse thing. You got to feel out every now and then. Deep restarts across the field. And this one gets a little weird, right? Because you would expect the closer official to blow it in, but that's not always the case, right? So you see where the ball is. It's back here in the alley. Defense is going to be bringing it up. It's going to be clearing the ball. You would think, well, geez, the lead is right there, right? He's on the same side as the ball. He should blow it in, but not in this case, right? It's the trail's responsibility to blow the ball in. And as I'm waiting, I'm the trail. I'm waiting for my partner, who is the lead, to give me the signal. Chris, I am ready to go. Let's go. And that indicates a couple of things, that he's ready to go, but also that that defenseman or midi or whoever's getting the ball has got the ball and has crossed the line and is set and ready to go, right? He doesn't want to tell me he's ready, give me the ready signal, as the midi who picked the ball still out of bounds, right? So he's going to hold his arm until the ball is on the field and ready to go. He's going to signal, Chris, I'm ready. I have my hand up. I see Mike's hand go into position. He's ready. All right, guys, we're going. I blow the whistle and I wheel it in. All right. In this case, the ball moves up. Me as the trail, I'm not going to fall asleep back there, but I'm also not going to sprint up either. I'm going to follow that ball, maybe a yard, 2 yards behind the ball, just to make sure that in case he drops it and attackman picks it up, I can still get back into position as the new lead. We don't need to beat, the trail does not need to beat the ball up. The trail should be following that ball up as it moves upfield. The new lead, you want to keep about 2 lines, right? A restraining line and a midline, or the midline and the next restraining line between you and the ball, so that you are in a position to be ready at the crease. If there's a, what I call a play at the plate, right? You want to be ready for that quick play. When the ball is on the bench side, the table side of the field, we want to bring the ball in about 5 yards. We don't need any kind of nonsense going on. If that ball is on the sideline there and just inside, just up at the box area, get them in further on the field, right? Because there's subs coming in and out. Coaches are in the mix. Move the ball in the field about 5 yards from that sideline. Okay. And I'm going to wait until everyone's ready. I see my partner gives me the go ahead, and I'm going to whistle and we're going. Again, ball moves across midline. That lead should be ready to go at the crease, at the goal line extended. And that trail is going to blow it in 5 yards in from the sideline when it's on the side of the benches. Excuse me. End line restart after a shot. The ball is going to the defense. The goalie ran behind, got the ball, got the shot, whatever. That trail is going to, again, keep about 2 lines in between him and the ball. And then he's going to move into position. The ball keeps moving. And that trail's, there you go. He's going to run by, check the box real quick, and make sure everything's good to go, and then get into position right on the top of the restraining line. Fast break to the opposite end. Ball is on defense. Let's see if this go. Whoa, that was fast, huh? Lead's going to have to hustle, right? This is where our conditioning comes into play and our stretching. Make sure we're in good spot. So in transition, right? We need to move quickly. That play is happening fast. We need to be faster. Get into position and make sure that we have eyes on the ball so that we can see what's going on at the goal line. Trail can come up a little slower. Check the box, check the line, count players, whatever they need to do, and then get into position. So penalties. This is a little bit of a repeat for well, certainly for the veterans, but also for the applicants. We want to make sure that everyone knows what we saw. Okay, so inform your partner and the players. Get to the open space of the field so you're not in the mix of all the mess, right? Face the table, near midfield, wherever you need to be. Take a breath, slow things down, clear your head for a second. You can even recite that C note, right? We talked about C note. Recite that in your head one time before you actually relay it, or while you're walking or running to your spot. Be aware of your pace, the tone, right? We're not angry. We don't want to convey anger. Okay. We are level-headed individuals. We will simply report what happened. We want to make sure our volume is good so either our partner or the table can hear it. And we're slow, calm, and relaxed. And we remember C note, color, number, the offense, the time of the penalty, and then a little e, the explanation if need be, right? If things are confusing to a coach, they have a question like, what did he do? I just want to understand it better so he doesn't do it again. Real quick, coach, he gave him a shot to the head as he was on the ground. no good, targeting, defenseless player, whatever it is. There's the penalty, and we're going. Okay. C note. And I believe it's in a couple seconds. So an animation of a penalty relay, we have some sort of infraction on the gray blob there. Orange blob has the ball. Lead has a flag. He's going to relay it to the trail, who's obviously closer to the table. Trail's going to move into position closer to the table to relay that penalty. Gray is coming off into the penalty box, and orange is going to move the ball outside the box into the alley and ready for the restart. While the trail, and we went over this with the applicants, but as the trail is reporting that penalty, the lead, you are getting things set up. So as soon as that trail turns around, we're ready to go. And that includes picking up your flag, making sure you know someone picks up the ball is outside the alley. You can relay to the goalie so they know what's going on, so he can report that or relay to his players. Guys, we're man down for a minute. Keeper, that was a slash. You are man down for 1 minute. Ball is over here with me, starting in the alley. Or ball is going to start with my partner on the other side of the field. Keeper, ball is side right. We're going. All right. And then he reports C note, color, number, offense, time, explanation if need be. All right, so here are some video samples. Wait for them to load for a second. There we go. And just a couple quick examples.
Blue, 1-8. Illegal body check to a defenseless player. 2 minutes, non-releasable.
And then he pumps in time. We got 20 seconds on the clock. We're going. All right, get the right people on the field.
White, 7-2. Pushing, 30 seconds. Play on. Push. White ball. Blue, 5-5. Slash, 1 minute.
Nice big arms, nice, clear, concise, good volume, good tone.
Blue, 4-3. Holding, 30 seconds. Play on. Ball is loose. Holding. Blue ball.
Right. We want to make sure that we are doing the right thing, because guess what? All eyes, no pressure, not to throw you under the bus here, but all eyes in that stadium are going to be on you as you're reporting this penalty. Okay. They want to know, everyone in the place, the players, the parents, the coaches, they want to know what the heck you're calling, how long that person's going to be in the penalty box, and what the infraction was. Right. And so we want to make sure we have a clear head, nice deep breath, calm, good volume, good tone, and make eye contact with the table, particularly the person that's timing or the person that's running the book. Make eye contact with them. Okay. We have blue, 2-2 slash 1 minute. And sometimes I'll even repeat it as I'm going through again and quickly. Now I don't belabor the whole thing again, but I'm saying blue 22 slash, he's sitting for 1 minute and I'm going back out. In that time, my partner has picked up the flags accordingly. If it's his, I will grab mine on the way back in if need be. He's got the ball ready to go. As soon as I turn around and walk out in the field, run out on the field, turn around, get back into position, we're going, right? The right personnel is already on the field and we're going to go. Mistakes. Mistakes. We all make them. We've all made them. We will make them this year. It is fine. It is okay. We are human. Okay. What you can't let happen is let the mistake rule the rest of the game. Okay. I have made mistakes and I have let them eat at me for the rest of the game. And guess what happens? It just takes you off your game. You need to acknowledge you made a mistake. You need to fix the mistake if you can and move on. Learn from it and move on, because you got a lot more game to officiate the rest of the night. And so admit it, talk to the coaches, say, guys, I messed up. It's a blue push. We're going white. My mistake. and move on. Don't belabor it. Don't self-deprecate. Just get it done, fix it, and move on. And it's okay. We've all been there. All right, end of game. So we're almost done. End of game. Have an end of game exit strategy, right? If it's a contested game, things are heated, the parents are chippy, yelling at you, whatnot. Have an exit plan, right? This is why Greg and JP always sort of tell us not to leave anything at the bench that we can't live without. Because if things are heated and you need to get out, you don't want to have to run back to the table to get your keys, get your jacket, whatever. Sometimes it happens. And guys, I've left stuff at the table. I usually go back and get it and run, just run. Sign the scorebook. It's not a practice I really get involved in too much. I think we're supposed to, but I don't know many of us that do. Probably should admit to that on recording, but that's all right. Your job ends once you leave the facility, right? You're in the parking lot, walking to your car, changing in the, by your car, whatever, getting out of your sweaty gear, putting on, your other shoes, whatever, and a fight breaks out on the field. It's not necessarily our problem anymore. But as we're walking off the field, we need to make sure that things are still going okay because we are still responsible. Leave the field together. Never leave a partner. If your partner leaves you, you give them the business, right? Why did you leave me out there? No way. Leave the field as one team. Acknowledging the coaches is okay. They may say, good game. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Mr. Official, whatever. Thank you, sir. Thank you, you guys. Good job. Good luck the rest of the season, whatever. You can be friendly, even if they were yelling at you the whole time. You're angry. You want to get home. You're hot. You're tired, whatever. Still be professional. I added my own 2 little comments down there last night as I was reviewing this. You're going to get comments sometimes as you're walking off the field. Okay. We need to ignore the comments unless we shouldn't. And think about that for a second, right? Somebody says to me, oh, whatever, a comment that's not that bad. You need glasses or whatever. Like, that's okay. It's funny. It's kind of funny. Whatever. He says, you're the worst official in the state of Delaware, or F you official, you suck. You have every right to throw a flag, put it in the book, and walk off the field. Okay. And I had to do that last year in a state semifinal game. I'm not going to go off more than that. A coach said something and I threw a flag on him after the game. Goes in the book. If there's a action that needs to be taken by DLOA, whatever. But it sends a message, right? My ears are still open. This is still, I'm still in control of the game. And I'm not going to tolerate that, right? It's unacceptable. So ignore comments unless you shouldn't. And then be aware of your surroundings, right? This comes into play on smaller fields where maybe there's only one gate in and one gate out, right? Thinking about places like Del Mar, right? If you guys have ever officiated Del Mar, there is one gate in, one gate out. And so be mindful of that. Parents, officials, we're all walking out the same gate. And so just be mindful of what's going on around you. Not that there's anything wrong with Del Mar, just an example of a field. But just be mindful of where your exit is. Again, make sure your partner's together with you, that kind of thing. So just be aware of your surroundings. Understand where people are in relation to your car and park accordingly, right? Make sure your car is somewhat close to the field if you think it might be a contested game. And even if it's not going to be a contested game, make sure your car is somewhat in a good spot. Back into parking spaces if you need to, so that you can make a quick exit. I've left games in full gear, right? Just because I don't want to hang out, put all my stuff back in my bag, change my shoes, take my shirt off. I get in my car and I go, right? And my partner does the same thing. If we need to meet again, if we need to meet and talk, go to the other end of the parking lot, go to the McDonald's next door, whatever the case may be. Find another place if you need to talk about things. Just leave the scene, get out of there, because if it's too hot, no one wants that. End of the game. I think that's it. So with that, I am happy to answer questions. Mike is still here to answer questions. Fu is here. And look, there's plenty of people on this Zoom that have coached and officiated plenty of games that can also help answer questions if you have them. So you can type them in the chat. You can unmute and ask. You can email me or Mike or whoever you're most comfortable talking to. And we want to make sure that those questions are answered. I am going to ask Greg and JP for clarification on the set situation so that we can convey that to guys starting this weekend at scrimmages. It's going to be a lovely day for scrimmages on Saturday, by the way. Wear your rain gear and your thermals and all the whole 9 yards, because it could be nasty. But what questions do you have? None? I was that good. No. I'll stop recording if that's helpful.